Okay, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to start it. Today, I think the first thing I want to talk about it is your grade. Okay, this is a grade distribution out of 105 students, and average is 86.2. That's about 1 point up from the last time, 85 point something. And for those of you get into 90 and 100, 54 of you. Last time, I only have 51 students get the what, 90 and above. So overall, it's a great news, okay? And more of you get a good grades, and I'm happy for you. Apparently, you know how to take the test, okay? If you continue to have some problem, and the lowest this time is 50, okay? And if you still continue to have some problems or technical issues, please let me know. I really do not mind give more A's, okay? And since a lot of you folks are 90s and above, the group project 100 point, you have to be careful, okay? I want you to really do a good group project. First assignment due next Monday. People ask me one more time. One report, not multiple report. Group report means one report for each group, okay? And four different components, all of them should be covered, okay? Uh, the bio and relationship memory, I told you, to learn from Bill Clinton. If you want to remember someone, you have to find something relate that to. You want your friend to remember you. You should also what? Brainstorm with other people so people have a nickname or something for you, then they will remember you. Okay, so that's the first thing. I want you to at least try to improve your people skill by recognize people's name and get the name with the person. Second thing is communication. How you first going to communicate multiple approach. Okay, if it's a problem, what's the backup plan? Standard operation procedure for communication. Okay, next one is task structure. In your company case, I give you 5 problems, but they are 3 sub-questions in the question 1, 2 sub-questions in question 2. How do you cover everything? List everything. Then, if someone missed something, who is the checker? Who is the backup person for that single task? Task, okay, decomposing and the task structure will be important things. In that section, I also want you to talk a little bit about division of labor. Task structure, one thing is what divided your task. Division of labor have another meaning. Division of labor means what? Sian is a good writer. Emma is a good graphic designer. Everyone has a specialty. Okay? And the Brad is good proofreader. How do we use other skill everyone has to make this paper better? Okay, and Joe is the team leader. Okay, and Jared is the secretary of the team. So division of labor is not 100% identical with task structure. Okay? It's the cross-functional stuff. Okay, and so this is an important task. Please pay attention to it. I want you to really, oh, of course, the last one, most important one is what? Rules and the regulations. Okay, I don't want people talk to me in 3 weeks. Oh, we couldn't find Nicholas. He is always with the soccer team. We couldn't find him. Hey, you first should have a guideline. Okay, and so he knows how to contact you first. You first know how to contact him or something like that. Okay, and these are important and accountable because I told you folks, worst thing, worst, I don't expect that to happen is what? You can fire a person. If a person fired, you don't behave yourself, you violate the rules so many times, you do the case 6, the Toyota case. Okay, you do all the tasks by yourself. Okay, but I don't expect that happen. I want you to have happy experiences, learn all these skills. So whenever you become a manager, you can be a better manager. Okay, today we're going to move to chapter 10. Okay, and the chapter 10 is an important chapter because we'll be talking about corporate structure, organization structure. Okay, in the beginning case, okay, we are coming back to what? McDonald. Okay, and McDonald's case, but before I started, okay, last time we talked about a McDonald, and I told you folks, okay, what's the most profit making section of the McDonald? Can you use the chat to tell me? Do you remember? Okay, by selling Big Mac or by selling French fry or what? Yes, Nicholas, thank you. Real estate management. Okay, really, they are the biggest one. Okay, you can see from a lot of places. Okay, they sold 1 billion hamburgers and they do very well. Okay, they have served 69 million customers daily. Okay, they have so many countries and they do very well with $21 billion revenue in 2018. You know, they do all kind of good things, but every hamburger, the headquarter only make what? A nickel, a dime. It's not good. So the company really focus on what? Property management. Okay, they find a place with potential. They build a store. They build a couple other extra stores adjacent to it. Then they what? Franchise this site to someone. Then they make sure 5 to 10 years this new location become very popular. Center of young people together. Then what? Increase the rent to McDonald's store as well as the store surrounding their own. Okay, so what's the problem? Okay, they have this strategy. What's the problem? Okay, revenue start to drop 2013. Okay, and they were nervous, so they try to identify what's the problem. They find out they lose a lot of what? Millennials. And the millennials are the largest population group of the entire population. It's about 74 million people, the largest age group. Before I talk about this group, I want you to have this common sense. You have to write it down, okay? For the human history, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 generations. Okay? Silent generation, we talk about those people during the World War II. Baby boomers, we talk about the people after World War II. They were born after World War II. Okay? Generation X, we started with what? 1970s. Generation Y, or we call millenniums, these are the guys born after 80s. Okay? And the Generation Z, most of you folks are Generation Z, you born in what? 2000, okay, or late 1990s, okay? And so you can see millenniums is Generation Y, is your older brother and sisters. They were born in what? 80s. From early 80s to what? To 90s, and they cover a little bit more. Okay? And This is one of the what very affluent generation because baby boomers, okay, raise these guys. Baby boomers start to have the children, and what by 10 or 20 years, they are no, these are the grandchildren of what about the baby boomers, you know. Baby boomers, okay, they start to have their children. No, baby boomers are born, okay, by the 80s, they are children. That's their children, okay. So their children, you can see that's baby boomer is the second largest group because during the World War II, a lot of countries lose a lot of people. So we have a lot of newborn babies and they call baby boomers. I am one of the baby boomers. Baby boomers are frugal because what? We were born after World War II. Our parents went through the war. They know how tough is life. So a lot of baby boomers, okay, number one, it's a big group. Number two is what? Dominate the economy. So millennials are our children, baby boomers' children. Okay, of course they are what? Very large group because what? Baby boomers largest group. So the millennials also largest group. Okay, and after the 20 years changes, baby boomers start to die. A lot of my friends, 70s, 80s, they start to what? Pass away. So millennials become the largest group. So they find out. So I just give you some background about different generation. You have to know that because handle different generation have different strategy, their attitude, their behavior. And you can find out, okay, they try to attract more millennials, generation Y. That's their strategy, okay? They want to change the corporate culture. Used to be suburban, okay, but now it's what? They want to change the city because these Generation X millennials, okay, they are young professionals. They don't live in the suburb anymore. They move to the high-paid jobs in the cities, okay, and of course they have to cut their costs, save some money, and they try to what? Make their executive team to be younger, okay? And the 4, 5, 6 are the most important one, okay? 4 is what? Healthy food. These millennials want a healthy food. They don't mind pay a few dollars more. They don't like junks. So the McDonald's changed their recipe. They remove artificial preservatives from their product, especially chicken nuggets. They eliminate, okay, corn syrup. Corn syrup is pretty bad, but most of the good tasting food you ever get from the store, okay, so sweet, so nice, so tasty because what? Corn syrup. But corn syrup is a bad thing. Okay, millennials do not appreciate that. So they remove that from their sandwich bun and a couple other places. They don't use the corn syrup. And of course, they try to what? They try to use fresh beef, okay, in their sandwich to keep the good quality. So they change their what? Recipe to be healthy. That's number 4. Number 5, technology. They try to use Kia and apps. A few days ago, we talked about Panera Bread. Okay, it's a higher end restaurant. So they use that, and the McDonald's find out. Millennials, okay, your brother, sister, and son of you folks use what? Use the apps all the time. So they also have to what? Use the kiosk system and what? Mobile app. The last one is what? Deliver. Okay, they try to do partner with what? Uber, Lyft, and etc. etc. They find out, okay, and younger generation, you like to make a phone call, everything in the house. So they try to compete by moving towards the taste and the consumer behavior of millennials, about Generation Ys. Whatever Generation Y likes, they change it, okay, because they want to bring back their selves, okay. Next one, we will start to talk about the organization structure. Three different things. First of all, definition about organization structure. What is organization structure? It's a formal system of tasks and the jobs. Okay? I talked in early chapter. Max Weber, the German sociologist, he's the father of bureaucracy. He started to tell people how to build up a corporate structure. The most important thing is what? The task structure, how to put the task and the people relationship, how to relate different jobs, then create different layers. Okay, we have preferable is what? Hierarchy. We want to make sure what? The relationship, the supervision should be clearly defined. We want to make sure we place the best person in each job, not by their connection, but by their ability. Okay, so all these important things we say corporate structure or organizing structure. What is organizing culture? So structure is the skeleton, your bone, your structure. Culture is what? Your nerve system. Okay, you have to group everything so people have what? Similar idea and concept to work towards something identical. Okay, so that's very, very important. So we need to talk about structure. At the same time, we talk about culture. So culture is the shared set of beliefs and the values. We use the culture to grow, to facilitate, to enhance the structure. Okay, and the section 1 will be talking about organization design. Okay, so if you want your company to be successful, to be 100 years old, you really have to what? You really have to learn how to design your company so your company has a sustainable structure. Okay, and that's very, very important. So to do that, first of all, you should see, okay, we have something called contingency theory. What is contingency theory? You want to design your organization to have the best structure. Depends on what? The company environment, the technology applied to your company, the business strategy you are using, and what kind of people you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Organization environment. Your organization environment is very stable or changing all the time. The strategy, we talk about 3 levels entire semester. Corporate strategy, talking about what? Focus, diversify. Kodak versus Fujifilms, remember? We talk about division strategy. What is division? Business unit. Then we talk about what? Strategy will be what? Profit. Then profit to strategy. Low cost and the differentiation. Here we'll be talking about what? Business strategy, low cost and the differentiation. Next one is technology. The last one is what kind of people you have. Okay, so these 4 factors going to affect 2 types of corporate structure. A typical structure, you have to build up in 2 types. The first type called mechanistic organization. This is a more rigid, more centralized structure, more centralized. Okay, and the next one is organic structure, which means what? More flexible. You have little job specification, fewer layers of management and decentralized. Okay, so to design your corporate structure depends on 4 conditions. Understand these 4 conditions, you have 2 types of structure you can choose. One is mechanistic organization. The other one is organic organization. Okay, and however, before okay, we talk about it. Okay, let's take a look at this one. So 4 different factors, contingencies affecting this type or this type. So first question, organization environment. If it's a very stable environment, should we use mechanistic structure or organic structure? Anyone want to try? If the environment we are facing, the company is facing is very, very stable, rarely change, then we should use more centralized or more decentralized. Emma, you try.
I think for a
Stable
stable
environment.
environment, you should use a mechanistic structure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because everything's so stable. If you centralize control, you can what? Cookie cutting, what? Push the best profit, right? If the environments keep on changing every day, you cannot have a very rigid centralized control. You should have what? Decentralized organization. So store manager making more decisions because what? Environment is so varied, so changed. Okay, so that's correct. Then the strategy. Okay, we are sort of assume we discuss the business division strategy. Then if it's low cost and the differentiation, low cost means what? We want to control the cost. If that's the case, we use the first structure or the second structure. MJ, your turn. What do you think? If the low cost is the focus, what would you choose?
Centralized.
Yes, correct. Low cost. So we don't want deviation. We want everyone to follow the guideline to be very specialized. Differentiation, if that's the case. We want to make a Gucci bag. We want to use what? Decentralized. People can use their creativity because every bag is different. If we want to sell Gucci bag, we also use decentralized because what? Every customer is different. Okay, so these 2 strategies going to affect your company structure or what? Your team structure. Okay, more centralized, more well controlled, more mechanistic, or more organic. Technology. Before I talk about technology, I want you to know there are 4 different terms in the technology. We categorize technology. One is by routine versus non-routine. The other one, we categorize it by what? Task variety and the task analyticability. Okay? Routine versus non-routine is reasonably straightforward, right? So you know, okay, you are repeating stuff or you are doing everything different. But these 2 terms also occur whenever we categorize a technology called task variety and the task analyticability. Variety means what? How different, how varied the tasks are. So for a routine kind of technology, of course, what? You don't have a lot of variety. For the non-routine, because you have what? Very different task variety, so your technology structure will be what? Non-routine. Okay? analyzability means how easy to analyzing it. So if it's a routine, it's easy, high level of what? Analyzability. Easy to analyze because what? You only have these 5 procedures, okay? And the manager know everything. They're analyzing everything to the detail. If a company have certain task, okay, the analyzability is difficult to analyze it, so unpredictable, then it's more likely to be what? Non-routine. Because the non-routine, so it's very difficult to predict. Because it's difficult to predict, so we cannot make it routine. Okay, so the textbook like to ask you these 2 terms with the corporate structure. But if you know the relationship about this table, then you can answer this very easily. Technology, if it's a routine or lower task variety, should we use a centralized or decentralized? Jared, what would you use? If the technology routine, okay, is very routine or very low task variety, what kind of
it would be centralized mechanistic structure.
That's correct, right? So it's not difficult. And non-routine, everything changing every day, unpredictable. We use what? We use organic. Okay, that's one. Human resources. If your team members or your employees are low skill, would you use mechanistic or organic? Hannah, what would you do if it's a low skill employee? You pick this one or you pick this one?
I'm really not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. Nicholas, low skill.
Centralized.
Yes. Low skill means what? They don't have a lot of their own decision making or thinking. High skill, highly sophisticated, you want to give them what? More decentralized power. So they can what? They can do more thinking and everything. Okay? So you can see, okay, basically, if I make this matrix, the textbook use a lot of paragraphs, go over everything. I think it's very confusing. So I make this table, okay, so you can see under different situation, there are different results. And of course, ideally, maybe I do that. The routine is what? Low task variety. Non-routine is what? Non-routine is what? High, let me see, high job variety, okay? Then you can also have what? Job task availability, okay? So basically, to study your exam, I recommend you what? To be more organized and then make some tables in the chart, okay? So next section, talking about how do we create jobs, start to build up your organizing structure. First of all, we have to go back to what? The tasks. Last time, we talked about how to increase the competitive advantage. Then we had to focus on what? Job process. And how to enhance the job process. Decompose everything to be tasks. Then group the tasks together. Create something called task chain. Because each task has value added. So we also call it what? Value chain. Okay? So now, this chapter, we come back to the basic unit of business. That is what? That is the task. If we group 6 by or 9 tasks to a job. Okay, so if assuming we open a new coffee shop, in the beginning, Jonathan will be the janitor, the coffee maker, the coffee seller, everything. But after you work for 3 months, you start to pick up business. Okay, then you find out you have to what? Group different tasks together. So will be create 2 jobs. One is what? Coffee maker. The other one is what? Coffee seller. Okay, so everything related to the production side, coffee maker. Everything regarding to the customer will be what? Coffee seller. So with the tasks increase, we create jobs. How about jobs increase? Okay, so you started 3 months ago, you are the only one. After 3 months, you have 3 people. After a year, you have 15 people. Then you should consider to build up what? A department structure. So anyone remember what is department structure? What is this department structure? Anyone remember? By function. What is by function? Accounting, finance, management. So if you have 15 people, these 3 people will be under manager called what? Marketing manager. These 3 people will be making coffee, will be what? Manager. So we normally try to group the jobs by functional area or by departments. Okay, and typically you know that accounting, finance, and that sort of stuff will be different departments. If the company from 3 people or 15 people, now you got 3,000 people. Can you still use the Department of Finance Marketing to do it? Maybe not, because what? You may have online sales of coffee, store, and the different what? Divisions, okay? So whenever next time we'll be talking about how do we do division, how do we do department. Today we're only going to focus how to group the task to be the job, okay? And
Hey, Dr. Chen,
yeah,
I think you're sharing the actual Zoom meeting.
ah,
It looks a little weird.
that's why I see something, but I don't quite understand. Now I do. Yes, thank you for telling me. All right. This is what I was talking about. I apologize. Thank you. Task, go to the job. Job, go to what? Department. Accounting, finance, management. And the department, go to division. Okay. And we'll discuss department level and division level next time. We are going to focus today how to group different tasks to be job. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Then, however, before we started, okay, how to group tasks to jobs, the textbook have 2 concepts. One is job enlargement. The other one is job enrichment. Okay, I want to know what is job enlargement? Can someone tell me what is job enlargement? Increase the volume of work. Okay, so take a look. Job enlargement means increasing the number and the range of different tasks. So if I increase task, increase your case number, increase some volume of your work, or the range of the task, then that's called job enlargement. Okay, so typically it's a good practice. So if I assume I have 5 people, I'm running human resources, one person retire, I can find a person to replace it. Or I have another choice. I can split her job to 4 different people. Each one get 10% of the OT, overtime. So would you be happy if I give you $500 every week additional, you work 8 to 10 hours additional for me? A lot of people will say, yeah, 2 hours a day, stretch a little bit, but I get $500. Then every month I get $2,000. That's quite good, right? So enlargement sometimes is win-win case. For the manager, I save what? The benefit package. I use the salary to what? Split with that. Everyone makes some extra money. Okay, everyone have $2,000 increase every week. They can bring back $500 by working 10 hours. That's a good thing to do. Okay, so give you an example. I have a cousin who worked for USPS, US Post Service in New York City. In the federal job, okay, GS7, that's a standard rate, supposed to be 50 to 65,000. You cannot pay someone in New York more than 65,000. Okay, but GS6 in Arkansas, $50,000, $60,000 may be comfortable. But New York, way not enough. Then how can they operate the postal service in New York with super high inflation and the cost of living? They pay OT. So my cousin, instead of working 40 hours a week, he worked 50 to 55 hours a week. 15 hours, the boss will give him what? OT. Typical situation is Saturday or Sunday. So he can double the OT because it's weekend. So what happened is what? He was able to make $80,000 a year for his salary. Okay, so his boss was happy. Someone covered the weekend, and what? Also, he can keep this person. Okay, I also talked to someone in San Francisco working for FBI. You know, and I said, GS9 or GS10, $70,000. How could you survive in San Francisco to be an FBI agent and then make $70,000? Do you get an OT? He said, no, sir. Okay, I'm not count by hour. Okay, we are the case specialist. We suppose in average doing 20 cases a month or something like that. If we couldn't finish, we have to do OT voluntarily. If we finish earlier, we can take it easy. Then I said, then how could you survive? If you cannot have OT, the salary is way not enough. He said, we do have adjustment for overload cases. So on the way to get into the FBI in San Francisco, the supervisor will have what? Will have agreement with you, okay? In Arkansas, people handle 20 cases a month. In San Francisco, you handle 25 to 28 cases. I give you $30,000 increase, but you have to guarantee you handle more cases for me. So it's in essence a different way of what? Job enlargement. So job enlargement overall, okay, it's a good thing to have, correct? Because what? People can get more money. And for a lot of areas, since people are, okay, people need more money. So job enlargement, what's the advantage? improving earning capacity. Also, what? Increase the range of activities. Okay, like the case I mentioned, 5 jobs, 1 retire. So you are specialist on the retirement. Now you handle something about job training because this person retire whose job is training. So you learn new skill. You increase what? The volume and the range of your work. Okay, but is that always good? No. Of course, number one, you have to make sure you get paid. Okay, if you do extra work, your boss doesn't pay you, that's illegal. Don't do it. Okay, number two, if the enlargement is overly stretched, that's no good. Okay, and I believe in a group presentation, there's a company will be doing Apple and the Foxconn. This company, Foxconn, they assemble the iPhone and iPad for Apple. Apple has a tradition. They don't want to release the new feature of their stuff. So they don't tell you what the iPhone 12 gonna have, or what the iPhone 11 have, okay, and that sort of stuff, until they have the new product announcement every year. That's a big event, and other people excited, rush to the store. They want to have surprise and that sort of stuff. On the other hand, that's create a lot of pressure for the manufacturer. They don't give you anything until 3 months before the new product going to be launched. Then you have to assume make 7 million iPhone in 3 months. That's a lot of pressure. They don't give you. Why don't you give me earlier? No, they want to keep the trade secret. So 3 months, 7 million iPhone. That's very challenging. So what can they do? They push to their workers. Hey, OT, everyone OT. So the first month, everyone was happy. You double 40 hours a week to 80 hours a week, but your salary double. Great. Second month, also good. But you start to be tired. Your system broke down. You want to go to bathroom. You have bowel movement problem because you don't eat regularly. You don't rest regularly. You went to bed. You couldn't fall asleep because you overworked too long. 18 hours straight working, then you go to bed, you couldn't sleep. All kind of breakdown in the physical condition, stress level. So in this Foxconn case, 13 suicides happened within 1 year. That's a huge issue, okay, around the world. Chinese government, Apple, everywhere. People commit suicide because of overwork. So you have to know, this is, of course, the very extreme cases. I want you to know, enlargement will increase the work burden, okay, increase the frustration and the stress, and create some breakdown, okay? And of course, the union is not going to be happy, okay? And so that's the job enlargement. What is job enrichment? What is job enrichment? You increase what? You increase what? The responsibility. Job enlargement, you increase the task. Job enrichment, you increase the responsibility. So typically, okay, we want to give in new ways of doing jobs, okay? We want to help the workers to develop new skills, okay? And we want to give them more responsibility to make decisions. And sometimes we even allow them to assess their performance. So there are a lot of ways to enrich your jobs. Basically, you increase the knowledge and the skill of the employees that then do more development called job enrichments. Job enrichments are very, very helpful because that's give people some renewal. They can increase the variety, give them something to explore, give them some specialization. They will learn new stuff. And this is also very, very popular in the job market. So if you cannot offer a high salary, you offer a lot of what? Career advance opportunities. People may still take this job and be very happy because every day they feel like they are making important decisions. They are learning a lot of new stuff. Okay. And since I'm short of time, only have 5 more minutes, so we have to go to 2 more slides. Okay, this one talking about Heckman and Ullman's model. So if we want to group the tasks to the job, we have to consider these 3 things. The grouping, should have people, worker, each job, people feel like it's meaningful. I'm doing the retirement things for UCA. I'm doing something meaningful. And feeling responsibility of the outcome, and they feel like they can what? Make some contribution to others. Okay, so in general, you want your job, to have good meaning. Next one is the last one I want to make sure is what they call job characteristics model. Okay, you want to group tasks together. These tasks should have these 5 features. Number 1, skill variety. All these tasks should have a few different variety, and people take different ability to do. Okay, so that's something you have to know. Second thing is job identity, means what? From the beginning to the end. So you group some task. Try not to break the task then. A task chain. Have people complete what? A small chain. Okay, if the chain has been broken, then 2 or 3 people do the job, then that's not a good job. Because if every day Nicholas wants to do something, depends upon Sean's presence, then that's not good. Because the jobs are interrelated. Okay, you have to make sure, Nicholas can come in to complete his own stuff from beginning to end. Of course, not the entire one. I'm talking about the small task should be what? Should be a unit. You have to keep everything together. Task significance. You want people to feel like this job is doing something meaningful. Autonomy, all these tasks, you group them together, they can do it, with autonomy, with the freedom. The last one's feedback. Each job in or between, should have a place they can receive and what? They can receive all direct information, rewarding, and the feedback. So this is the last slide. So how to group the tasks together? According to that, just skill variety, then you have task variety, and the task significance, autonomy, and the feedback. And I think Friday we will start to talk about after we have the job, company keep growing, how do we group them into the department? If the company is still growing, how do we group them to the division? Then we'll finish with the corporate culture. And today's Wednesday. You still have plenty of time to finish your group projects. Please do so. And keep dry. I will see you on Friday, then we'll finish chapter 10. Okay. Any questions? I will see you on Friday. Have a nice